God. Why don't I make this more often? That is amazing. I'm very excited today. I am going to be sharing a Lao dish. Now, I feel like Lao food doesn't get enough exposure on social media. It's not as popular as, you know, Thai, Vietnamese, Chinese dishes. In saying that though, I do believe it deserves so much more recognition than it gets because the flavors are so good. And I really hope to share some more recipes from my culture and the dishes that I grew up eating more on here. So today we're going to be starting off with a Lao dipping sauce called Jeow. Now Jeow translates to sauce or relish, I would say, and Maklen is tomatoes. So the star of the show is going to be these cherry tomatoes here. Other things that you'll need for this dish is a whole head of garlic, some shallots, and lots of chilies. All right, we're going to be doing a mix of chilies. We're going to be doing some small like bird's eye chilies, and we're going to be adding these bigger ones too. So these are going to give it a lot of spice, and then these are for a bit of color and a bit of sweetness because they're not as spicy as these little guys. The amount of chilies that you use is totally up to you. Yeah, you can use 1 or you can use 10. It's up to you what your spice tolerance is. I'm probably going to be using, I don't know, that much. I sound like my mum right now. This is exactly what it's like when I try and ask her for the recipe of something. She just looks at it and goes, I don't know, that much, which is not a measurement. But there's probably like 1, 2, 3. There's about 9 or 10 chilies in there. I'm also going to be using some fresh coriander, some fish sauce, and a little bit of sugar as well. Now, the flavor of this dipping sauce really comes from cooking down the tomatoes, the shallots, the chilies, and the garlic. Traditionally, you would cook them over like a charcoal barbecue, so you really get that char flavor in there. My mum used to do it either on the charcoal barbecue or under a grill. We're gonna modernize it a little bit and use an air fryer. Hopefully we get a similar kind of charring because that's really what you want to help develop the flavors. The tomatoes get a bit sweeter and it's got that smokiness as well from that char. So I'm gonna see if we can recreate that in the air fryer just because it's easier. Giving your little tomatoes a wash, just bang them straight in there. Now with the garlic, you don't have to peel it. We're just gonna chuck them in with the peels still on. When we go to use them later, we'll just basically squeeze it out of the peel. It's so much easier than sitting here peeling all of the garlics. With the bigger chilies, just chop the ends off. I do want to take the little ends off these chilies as well, just make it easier for you later on. I don't know if these are going to be spicy or not. I find with bird's eye chilies that you buy from the shops, you don't know. I guess we're going to find out at the at the end whether it's going to be really spicy or it's not. With the shallots, you're going to want to peel them as well and half them. It's going to be easier for you to mash it all together later. Now this dipping sauce is so good served with any kind of grilled meat, so chicken, pork, beef. You could do it with steaks as well. It's a really nice accompaniment to that. You can have it with sticky rice, which is my favorite way to have it because you can kind of get right in there and dip it in. But you can also have it with jasmine rice or whatever rice you prefer eating. Although if you try and eat this with brown rice, I'm going to be very upset with you because brown rice does not taste nearly as nice as jasmine rice, let's be real. Now with Lao food, most dishes are served with some kind of dipping sauce on the side for rice. There's so many variations of Jeow. This is one of my favorites. My other favorite is just like a plain chili sauce that my mum makes with like 20 chilies. It's crazy. And then there's also a mushroom version of this, which I absolutely love, which I will need to make one day and film for you guys. Okay, so that's all prepared. I've just chucked it in a single layer in the air fryer. I'm just gonna get this on, get it nice and charred, and then I'll come back and show you how to put it all together. That's done in the air fryer, and this is kind of what it should look like. I'm gonna try and pick this up, it's gonna be very hot. This is kind of what you're looking for. So that kind of char, that's where the flavor is, yeah? To put it all together, you're going to need a mortar and pestle. This is how we make all of our jows. You could probably do this in the food processor. I've never tried it though. If you do try it, let me know how you go. You're gonna start off by just putting in the shallots, the garlic and the chili in with a little bit of sugar and pounding that first. You don't wanna add the cherry tomatoes just yet because you kind of wanna break these guys down first before you add the tomato, which will really not take much at all to break down. Now with the garlic, you just basically can either peel it or squeeze it out of its peel, but it's so much easier after you've already cooked it. Half a tablespoon of sugar in there first. Now the amount of sugar and fish sauce that you add in will just depend on, you know, how ripe the tomatoes are and just the end flavor of it. So it is a little bit like taste, add, when it comes to a lot of Lao dishes, but especially with Jeow. So I'll put the approximate measurements in the caption below, but it is personal preference. So once that's all in there, start mashing it all up basically. Now I don't usually do this on a countertop. We usually do it on the floor, and this actually feels very unnatural. So excuse me for a second while I take this onto the floor. And when I'm done, I'll come back. Oh my gosh, that was a workout. Okay, so now that you've kind of mashed it all up, I'll just show you the consistency that you're looking for. Like that. Your tomatoes. This is the messy part. I completely regret wearing a white shirt for this, but fingers crossed, it stays clean. Be gentle because they are hot and the juice will fly everywhere if you do it too hard. Now you're going to be adding in your fish sauce. Just like the sugar, you want to taste this as you go, but I'm going to start with, I'm going to say about 3 tablespoons. You just stir that in instead of mashing it. Oh my God, it smells so good. Oh my God. Look, you kind of want a good balance of sweet, salty, sour. Those are the 3 flavors you're going for in this. The saltiness coming from the fish sauce, the sweetness coming from the sugar. What was the other thing I said? Oh, sour. And that comes from the tomatoes. If you want it a little bit more sour, you can also add in a little bit of lime juice as well. I don't think this needs it. I think that it's a perfect little balance here. So this is the consistency you're kind of looking for there. I know it doesn't look pleasant, but my goodness, the flavors, immaculate. Finishing touch for this is the coriander. So you want maybe a third of a bunch of coriander. You basically just want to finely chop it and stir it through. Save a little bit to put on top. The coriander just adds like this, I don't know, freshness to it. Oh, it's amazing. All right. Now this is basically what you're looking at, yeah? That kind of consistency. It's almost like a salsa. It's just, there's so much flavor there from the tomatoes, the garlic, the shallots. Like it's just, it will just add so much more depth to your meals. Now the best way to eat this is with some sticky rice. You get your hands on some, please try them together for the most, I guess, authentic experience. This is what we keep our sticky rice. It's basically just like a woven, I don't know what we call it actually. We call it a thip cull. But it's like a woven little basket thing, and it's got some netting inside. My mum actually sewed that on there, and it stops the sticky rice from sticking to the actual basket, I guess. You basically get your sticky rice and just stick it on in there like that. Oh my God. So yeah, it's really good as a side. It's really good as a condiment with whatever meats you want to, like whatever meats you prefer. But it's also really good, just boiled eggs as well. So vegetarians, I got you. And yes, we eat with our hands a lot of the time with Laos food. Some people get grossed out about that, but it's no different from eating chicken wings with your hands, in my opinion. It's basically put it all together. Now, obviously it does make quite a fair bit. So storage wise, just put it in an airtight container and it will stay in the fridge. Like it will stay good in the fridge for up to a week. So you can just add it to all of your meals during the week. Let me know if you liked this and you want to see more Lao food. Because I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed sharing pieces of my culture and all the delicious foods that I got to eat when I was growing up. And I'm so grateful to my mum for being such an absolutely amazing cook. Like we grew up with the best food. And I know that sounds biased, but I'm being honest. It was such good food and I'd really love to share more of her recipes on here. That's it. Thanks for joining.